Okay, Andrew, before we start, I have to ask you something about how to use actually, basically.
Oh, this should be interesting. Welcome everyone to the English Fix. Let's get into it.
Thank you, Andrew. It's comforting to know I'm not alone. But really, it's frustrating. I hear actually and basically all the time. In movies, on YouTube, when I try to talk to native speakers, and I know they're common, but I never feel confident using them myself. Sometimes I try, and then I feel like I've used it wrong, or it sounds weird, or I just freeze up because I'm translating in my head. Okay, actually means thukte, or that raw. But does it really mean that here? And then the moment is gone.
That's it right there, Emma. You've perfectly articulated the problem. Most people don't realize that these words, actually, and basically, aren't just direct translations of a single concept. They carry a lot of nuance, a lot of subtle social meaning, and that's why they trip up so many learners. It's not about a dictionary definition. It's about how they function in a conversation, what they signal to the listener.
Signal? What do you mean by signal? Like a traffic light?
Exactly. Think of them as tiny little traffic signals for your listener. They tell the person you're speaking with, hey, pay attention, something specific is coming. Or, hey, I'm about to simplify something for you. But if you use the wrong signal, it can confuse things. Here's the thing, Emma. Your brain, when you're trying to speak English, is already working overtime. You're thinking about vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and then you add these little words that feel like they should be simple, but they're not. It's like trying to juggle 3 balls, and someone throws you 2 more tiny, slippery ones. Of course you freeze.
That's a really good analogy. I definitely feel like I'm juggling. And then I drop everything. I remember one time, I was talking to a new colleague, and she asked me if I liked living in the city center. I wanted to say, yes, I do, but it's very noisy. But instead, I said, actually, I like it, but it's very noisy. And she gave me this strange look, like I had contradicted something she hadn't even said. I felt so silly. I just wanted to confirm, but it came out like I was correcting her.
Oh, that's a classic. And thank you for sharing that story, because that's exactly what we're talking about. You instinctively felt it was wrong, because her reaction told you something was off. The secret is that, actually, often, very often, implies a contrast or a correction to an unspoken assumption, or even something that was just said. You wanted to confirm your liking for the city, but by adding, actually, it sounded like you were saying, you thought I didn't like it, but actually I do.
Ah, so that's why she looked at me like that. I thought I was just being polite, like, oh, in reality, I do like it. But it made it sound like she had said, you must hate living in the city center, when she hadn't said anything like that at all.
Precisely. You see, the literal translation of, in reality, or, in fact, for, actually, is only part of the story. The implied meaning is often what trips us up. It's about the context and the expectation. If there's no expectation to contradict, actually, can sound a bit out of place, or even a little defensive, as you experienced. It's like you're saying, no, what you think is wrong, actually it's this.
Okay, so that's actually. What about basically? I feel like I hear people use it all the time, and sometimes it feels like it adds nothing. Like, basically, I went to the store. What does that even mean? Does it make the story more basic?
Another excellent question, and another common point of confusion. You're right, sometimes, basically, is just a filler word, and that's a habit we want to avoid. But when used well, basically, is incredibly powerful. It's your friend when you need to simplify, summarize, or get to the core essence of something.
Simplify, like make it easier to understand?
Exactly. Let me tell you about a time I was helping a friend explain his new job to his grandmother. He works in cybersecurity, which, as you can imagine, is full of technical jargon. He started saying things like, well, I manage the firewall protocols and ensure data integrity across various network architectures. His grandmother's eyes just glazed over. She had no idea what he was talking about. Then I suggested, try saying, basically, Grandma, I stop bad people from stealing information from computers.
Oh, that's so clear.
Right? His grandmother immediately understood the core function of his job. She didn't need the technical details, she needed the asterisk essence. That's where, basically, shines. It's not just shortening something. It's stripping away the non-essential details to reveal the main point. It's like saying, if you want the simple version, or the main takeaway, here it is.
So, it's a tool for clarity, not just for shortening? Because I thought it was just like, I'm going to tell you the short version now.
That's a great distinction you just made, Emma. It can be the short version, but more importantly, it's the asterisk essential version. The version that captures the core idea. Think of it as summarizing the main idea of a long article. You don't just cut out words, you pull out the key message.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get a clearer picture of both. Actually, for correction or unexpected information, and basically, for simplifying the core idea.
You've got the core concepts, Emma. Now, let's dive deeper into actually. We talked about it signaling a contrast or correction. But it can also be used to emphasize a surprising truth.
A surprising truth? How is that different from a correction?
Good question. A correction often implies someone else had a different idea. A surprising truth might just be something you're revealing that you think the listener will find interesting or unexpected, even if they didn't have a preconceived notion. For example, I thought learning English would be impossible, but actually, with consistent practice, it's becoming much easier. Here, you're not correcting someone, but you're sharing an unexpected reality based on your own experience.
Oh, I see. So it's like, I had this idea, but the reality is surprising.
Exactly. Or, most people think X, but actually, it's Y. It's about revealing something that might go against common belief or your own initial expectation.
Can you give me another example? I want to make sure I really understand this nuance.
Of course. Let me tell you about a conversation I had with a friend about a new restaurant. He said, "Oh, that place is probably super expensive, isn't it?" And I replied, "Well, actually, it's not bad at all. We had a great meal for a really reasonable price." See? He had an assumption, expensive. My, actually, introduced a different, surprising truth, it was reasonable. It's a gentle way to correct or offer new, unexpected information.
I think I can try that. So if someone says, "Oh, you must be tired after working all day," and I want to say, "Not really, I feel energized." I could say, "Actually, I feel quite energized today."
Perfect. That's a fantastic use of actually. You're correcting their assumption about your energy level. It fits perfectly.
Okay, I'm going to try to say that. Can you say it slowly for me?
Absolutely. Let's do a little shadowing moment here. Repeat after me, and listeners at home, please join us. Actually, I feel quite energized today.
Actually, I feel quite energized today.
Excellent. Notice how it feels natural to put a slight emphasis on, actually, and then on, energized. That's part of the signal.
I felt it. It felt like I was giving new information. This is really helpful.
Wonderful. Now, let's circle back to basically and talk about another common use for it. Beyond simplifying, basically can also be used to summarize a long story or a complex explanation. You've been talking for a while, and you want to wrap it up or check if the listener got the main point.
Like, so, basically, that's what happened.
Spot on. Or, if someone is struggling to understand something you've explained in detail, you might say, "Look, it's a lot of information, but basically, what you need to remember is X." It helps cut through the noise and deliver the core message. It's like saying, "Let's boil this down to its essential components."
So, if I'm explaining a new project at work, and it has many steps and details, I could start by saying, "So, basically, our goal is to launch a new app by the end of the year." And then I can go into the details.
That's a brilliant way to use it, Emma. It sets the stage, gives the listener the main objective, and then they can follow your detailed explanation with that core understanding in mind. It's an anchor point. Let me tell you about a time I was in a meeting, and someone was explaining a very complicated financial report. They went on and on for about 10 minutes, listing numbers and projections. Everyone was starting to look confused. Finally, the manager stepped in and said, "Okay, so basically, what you're telling us is that we need to increase our marketing budget next quarter to hit those targets, right?" And suddenly, everyone understood. The manager used, basically, to extract the crucial action item from a mountain of data.
Wow, so it can really help clarify things for everyone, not just the speaker.
Absolutely. It's a tool for shared understanding. It helps both the speaker and the listener focus on what truly matters.
Okay, I'm getting it for, basically, now too. What about the times when it sounds like a filler? How do I avoid that? Because I hear people say, basically, I woke up, and then basically, I had breakfast, and basically, I went to work. That sounds repetitive.
You've hit on a very important point, Emma. Overuse of basically can definitely make you sound hesitant or like you're trying to find your words. When basically doesn't serve the purpose of simplifying or summarizing, it often becomes a verbal tick. If you can remove basically and the sentence still makes perfect sense and doesn't lose any essential meaning, then you probably don't need it. I woke up, had breakfast, and went to work is perfectly clear. There's no need to simplify or summarize something so straightforward.
So, if there's no complex idea to simplify, or no long story to summarize, I should just skip it?
Exactly. The secret is intentionality. Use these words with purpose. Don't just throw them in because you hear others do it. Ask yourself, am I correcting an assumption or introducing surprising information? Then use actually. Am I simplifying a complex idea or summarizing a long explanation? Then use basically. If the answer is no to both, then you probably don't need them.
This is so much more helpful than just the dictionary definition. It's about the asterisk why behind using the word. Basically, the main idea is to focus on practice.
Fantastic. Hear how it just cuts to the chase. Listeners, try it with us. Basically, the main idea is to focus on practice. It's direct, it's clear, and it signals that you're about to give the key takeaway.
I can definitely feel the difference. It makes me feel more in control of what I'm saying. But what if I use actually, and it still sounds a bit rude, like I'm challenging someone?
That's a very perceptive question, Emma. It can happen. Sometimes, even if you're technically correcting an assumption, the tone can make actually sound a bit sharp. Here's the thing. Intonation plays a huge role. If you say, actually, it's asterisk this way. With a strong, rising tone, it can sound confrontational. But if you say it more softly, with a gentle emphasis, oh, actually, I heard it was that way, it's much more polite.
So it's not just the word, it's how I say it.
Precisely. And sometimes, you might choose a different phrase altogether if you want to be extra gentle. Instead of, actually, it's not expensive, you could say, you know, I was surprised, it wasn't expensive at all. Or, funnily enough, it was quite affordable. These phrases achieve a similar goal without the potential for sounding like a direct correction. It's all about context and relationship with the person you're speaking to.
That's a good tip. I think I often forget about the tone and just focus on the words. This makes me realize how much more there is to learn beyond just vocabulary.
It's all part of real English, Emma. It's the unspoken rules, the social cues. And the same goes for, basically. If you're trying to simplify something for your boss, you might use, basically, very carefully, ensuring it doesn't sound like you're dumbing down the information. You might say, to put it simply, or, in essence, this is what we're looking at. Whereas with a friend, basically, is perfectly fine to simplify a complex concept quickly.
So it's about adapting to the situation and the person.
Exactly. This is why listening is so crucial. Pay attention to how native speakers use these words in different contexts. Notice their tone, notice who they're talking to. That's how you build your intuition for these subtle signals.
I always feel like I need to speak perfectly, and if I make a mistake, it's a huge failure. But this conversation makes me realize it's more about communicating effectively. Okay, I feel much more confident now. I think I've been trying to force these words into every sentence because I hear them so much. But now I understand their specific jobs.
That's an amazing realization, Emma. That's exactly what we want our listeners to feel.
So, for my challenge this week, I'm going to focus on, actually, first. I'm going to try to use it specifically when I want to correct an assumption someone has, or when I'm sharing something that I think might be a bit surprising or unexpected. And I'll really pay attention to my tone, to make sure it sounds gentle, not rude.
That's a fantastic, concrete plan, Emma. Starting with one word, with a clear purpose, and focusing on tone. That's how you build confidence and master these nuances. For all of you listening at home, your challenge for this week is similar. I want you to pick one of these words, actually, or basically, and consciously try to use it correctly at least 3 times in a real conversation. And just like Emma, pay attention to the context. Were you correcting an assumption with actually? Or were you simplifying a complex idea with basically? And if you don't have a conversation, write down 3 sentences where you would use it and imagine the scenario. The goal is to be intentional.
I love that. I think I'll try to write some sentences too. It helps to practice before speaking.
It absolutely does. So, to quickly recap our main insights from today. Actually is often used to introduce a contrast, a correction to an assumption, or a surprising truth. And basically is your go-to word for simplifying complex ideas, summarizing long explanations, and getting to the core essence of something. Remember, the key is intentionality and understanding the subtle signals these words send.
And also, paying attention to tone. That was a big takeaway for me. Yes, thank you, Andrew. I feel like I finally have the secret code.
You're welcome, Emma. Before we go, we want to hear from you. What's one word or phrase in English that you hear all the time but still feel completely unsure about using yourself? Let us know in the comments below. Your answers help us decide what to cover in future episodes.
Yes, share your struggles. We're all in this together.
Exactly. Don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the English Fix for more practical English lessons, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss day 36, where we'll be tackling another common conversational hurdle. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep fixing your English. Alright, that's a wrap for today. Seriously though, which part of this felt most real to you?
Drop your answer in the comments. And if this helped you, like this video and subscribe. We post new episodes every single day.
This has been the English Fix. Thanks for listening. Keep practicing, keep pushing, and we'll see you in the next one.